Everybody, welcome back. Let's jump into some tidbits. We've got two big things to cover, one rumor as well. So let's jump into things with Capital One. Capital One and Discover. The merger has been given its final green light. I will say, kind of out of pocket, I'm hoping there's no changes to the Capital One board going forward that aren't, members of the Discover board joining the board. I'll leave it there. And we'll continue forward, but Capital One has met its final conditions and gotten final approval for this merger to be completed. Capital One anticipates that the merger will be completed in May. From there, there's going to be redundancies. There's going to be months of figuring out what happens next. And then in terms of credit cards, what we're all here for, I'm not sure what's going to happen next. The quick and dirty thing would be they just make the Discover It a Capital One card. They kind of figure out the lower tier cards with Capital One later. Now you've got like a really good travel setup of a rotating category card, the workhorse card with the saver, and you've got the everything else card either as a Venture or Venture X. That I think would just be like the quick trifecta, get it over with, make everybody happy, bing bang boom, you're done. I don't know that they're necessarily going to do that. The other thing, which is sort of what I call the long road, is Capital One takes a couple of years, invests in building out the Discover network, payment network. They keep it named as Discover for now, and then 4 or 5 years down the road, they rename it something else. They rebrand it as something else with Capital One, and then Capital One, makes that their payment system, brings everything in-house, and really starts to try and take on American Express. That's like a 4 or 5 year plan. Who knows what that's going to look like over the next 4 or 5 years, but if I were a betting man, I would assume that that is what they're going to do. In the meantime, you're going to see the merger be completed. You're going to see stories of layoffs at Capital One before the end of the year, probably due to redundancy, not necessarily the company in a bad way, although current economic conditions don't help things, and who knows if we enter any sort of financial disaster. So, Capital One, Discover, merger, done! We just needed the final merger to be completed in May. So there we go. That's the first story I got for you. The second story, Hawaiian Airlines is ending a number of partnerships at the end of June. This kind of tells us that the merging of the Hawaiian program and the Alaska program is going to take place probably sometime in the second half of the year. This is coming from Upgraded Points, and they have a list of those partnerships ending from airlines to stores to other things. Let's jump through it. As of June 30th, the following airline partnerships are ending between Hawaiian Airlines and these airlines: Virgin Australia, Virgin Atlantic, which are not the same company, China Airlines, Japan Airlines, Korean Airlines, JetBlue. So Japan Airlines is a One World. Korean Airlines I know is SkyTeam. The Virgin Atlantic is SkyTeam. Virgin Australia, I don't remember if they're under an alliance. Believe they are, but I think Qantas is in another alliance. Don't remember offhand. Do not know my Australian airlines as well as I probably should. All I remember about Australia is it's a continent actively working. It's part of a continent actively working to kill you. And JetBlue is the last one. So until June 30th, you can still redeem your Hawaiian miles to fly on these airlines. Eligible bookings are permitted for flights through February 28th of 2026, which I believe is the end of the status year for Hawaiian. Now, several non-travel partnerships will also be ending. That would be Boyd Rewards, Foodland, Haile, Koa Pancake House, Konos, Maui Gym, and the Alley. I believe these are all Hawaiian establishments in the archipelago of Hawaii. Notably, Hawaiian Airlines pays some of these partners. Hawaiian Airlines says many of these partners will start participating in Alaska Airlines Mileage Plan program later this year. So previous Hawaiian partnerships will probably, that are non-airline related, will probably move over to Alaska Airlines. That makes sense. Additionally, you'll be able to earn Hawaiian Airline miles until June 30th with the following programs: Rocket Mortgage, University of Hawaii. I'm just going to use the AKA shorthand for it just because I do not want to mispronounce it. Carmel, Island Art Store, and then there's other changes coming soon. I would imagine, now this is actually kind of important to this. And again, this is from Upgraded Points. So we're going to read through this real quick. Also expect that the Hawaiian Airlines co-branded credit cards will go away in the future, as indicated by the head of Alaska Airlines loyalty program. This change could come after the merger is complete. Brett Catlin, Alaska Airlines Vice President of Loyalty Alliances and Sales, has also indicated that the program will likely keep its points transfer options limited in the future. Presently, you can transfer Bilt points to Alaska Airlines and transfer American Express membership reward points to Hawaiian Airlines with instant transfers between Hawaiian and Alaska, which has been giving folks, a roundabout way of turning your membership reward points into Alaska points. And there have been, I'm sure, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of membership reward points that have been backdoored into Alaska, and devals may be coming because of it. But neither here nor there. That means at some point in the future, based on what Catlin has said in media interviews, an exact date of when that ending of the part of the roundabout is, we don't know when that's going to be. Alaska Airlines intends to heavily focus on its co-branded credit cards rather than point transfer partners. So, the Alaska cards with Bank of America, those will be the primary way of earning Alaska miles after the two programs are merged into one program. Again, the brands are going to stay separate, but the program is becoming one program. We'll have to see. With that, if you're one to speculatively transfer, might be the time. I'm not one to tell you what to do with your points, but if this is a thing that you want to do, might be the time. Just don't be surprised when there's a devaluation later this year. That is just rampant speculation on my part. So we will see what happens there. Massive supply of Alaska miles are about to hit Alaska accounts, which Alaska is not going to be super happy about, but kind of is what it is. And we just have to wait and see what happens with some of these other things. Now, going back to the airlines mentioned, I know does have a partnership with Alaska Airlines, so I imagine that is still going to continue going forward. I think Alaska also has relationships with, would have relationships with Japan because they're both One World Airlines. Virgin, I don't remember offhand, and I think they have some sort of relationship with China and Korean as well. So we will just have to see what happens. They could also look to reintegrate those partnerships after February. We'll see. So those are the two big news items. The rumor that has been floating around for a couple days, haven't done anything on it just because I don't know what to think of it, but this coming from Danny the Deal Guru, it is possible that T-Mobile and Capital One are working on a co-branded credit card, and they could be launching a co-branded credit card in the coming months. We'll have to see. Credit cards from cell phone companies and telecommunication companies tend to have only the main benefit of your auto pay discount, and the telecom company, like moving your auto pay discount to the credit card specifically or your bank account. A little skeezy, but hey, more money for them, and they don't have to pay the interchange fee. So we'll see. We don't know anything about multipliers. We don't know anything about a launch date. We don't know anything about whatever else it may have involved with it and ways to redeem it. But Capital One, T-Mobile, Capital One did have like 9 trademarks going at one point for credit cards. Maybe one of those is a co-branded card. A number of them, I believe, have lapsed. I'm not actually sure that anybody's working at the trademark office right now, so who knows what's happening. But anyway, just wanted to bring up those two major news items, bring up this rumor. It is interesting to see. I'll keep eyes on it going forward because I like to just talk about new credit cards and, be told, wow, this is a really bad credit card. I'm not going to get that. Hey, I know, but it's a new card. So there we go. That's going to do it for the news this week. If you like what I do, hit the like and subscribe button down below. If you want to support me here on YouTube, consider becoming a channel member. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, consider all of the means to do so in my pinned comments, including a Chase Sapphire preferred referral that will be in the pinned comment. 100,000 points. At least get the 100,000 points. My gripes about the card aside. And check out my Ko-fi or buy me a coffee if you want to support me out over there. That would be huge. But thank you so much for your time. Oh, and check me out on the Stack Your Points podcast. We release on Wednesdays and Fridays. We have lives on Thursdays, and the full show comes out on Saturdays. So check that out. That is with Call Me Lonnie, RJ from Do You Take Cards, and Tariq from Reeks Rewards. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you taking the time to watch. Enjoy. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.